Hey folks, thanks for joining us again today. We're going to run through a few things, and I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that you can post questions in the sidebar panel there, and also feel free to post just general questions. It doesn't have to be contextual to what we're covering. If it's something that we want to wait till the end, we'll just hold on to it, but it'll be something we're happy to address as we get time towards the end. So today, we're going to cover a couple of pretty exciting topics. One is an update that we just made to your member page. So as an admin, you've got access there. It has pretty far-reaching implications, and it segues nicely into the value of having an email list. We're going to cover some more tech updates, so you're seeing a theme there every week. In fact, I've recently pulled in a few more developers, so we should be seeing more and more happening there. And at the end, we're going to talk about baby steps. The benefits of having a consistent goal and working towards that, and how that has a cumulative effect over time. I'm also going to then compare the effects of those baby steps to other revenue-generating initiatives that you may be spending your time on to show you really what the opportunity looks like. So with that, if you have spent any time in the admin section, you'll notice that you've got the ability to access your members. Now, members are people from the community who have signed up to post events or to comment or to participate in a contest or create a listing or whatnot. They are different from what we call users, which are you and your team. But we've added two new columns to this page, as well as redesign the page to make it prettier and more easily navigated. The two columns are listings, which are directory listings, which I think is most exciting, and votes. So you can see as you have photo contests, as you run Reader's Choice, just the general type of engagement that you're getting. Now, this page is really valuable for a few reasons, and it can be exported. So you can export it to a CSV, which means you can then import it to your email system or use it to manipulate the data. If you've got a lot of members, we're adding a feature that will actually email you a completed export. Sometimes if you have a lot, it'll take a few minutes to kick out. But this gives you two main benefits. The first is, take a look, see who's most active. I mean, you probably know some of them, but maybe you've got that person at the library posting a ton of events. Reach out to them. You've got their email. Reach out to them and invite them to write an article, or at least thank them for their participation. I think you'll be really surprised and excited to see when someone is already taking ownership of their community and you can encourage them and foster that. It would go a long, long way. You know, you might want to use this to find bloggers. You might want to use it just to encourage and let people know, hey, you know, because you've been posting so much, I'm going to reference one of your events in our email list or on our Facebook page or whatnot. The other benefit of this particular update is that now when you run the export, it includes a listing of people who have business listings in the directory. And this is powerful because you can use it for prospecting. Many of these people are likely readers but not advertisers, and so you can use this list as a follow-up. You can also import it into your email list. We're going to take a minute. I'm going to hand the baton over to Ryan here in just a minute, and he's going to show you how we manage this in MailChimp. Now, the purpose of what Ryan will show you is not to be a tutorial so much as to demonstrate simply how easy it is to manage groups and then to send messages to specific groups. This is the sort of thing that you can do. You can set up recurring emails to automatically go out. You can set up one time, but this is one of the big reasons why we want you to get your email list set up and making it a part of your day-to-day activity. So with that, I'm going to hand the baton over to Ryan to do this little demo here.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Just going to share my screen with you here. So this is a MailChimp account that I set up just to use for this demo. The important things that I want you to take out of here is that you can use MailChimp to segment your data in a lot of different ways, and the easiest way to do that is with groups. So you would come into your list. I'm on my demo list here. And you go to Manage Subscribers, and there's this group menu item. If you click on that, you can come in here and see that I've already created what are you interested in. And typically when I help people set up their MailChimp accounts, I use these three, but you can make them what you want them to be. Featured articles, community news, events, and more. That's for people that just want basic reader updates. Then there's the deals, coupons, sales, and promotions. Those are for people that explicitly say, hey, I'm interested in getting free stuff or the social promotions you run on Facebook, or I want to know about sales and coupons in the community. Typically that's a subset of this first group. And then there's, of course, the last one here on the page is updates for businesses. When I set up an email list for somebody when I first get started, I like to take all their existing advertisers and add them to updates for business. But what I also do is when I do that, I also add them to this first category. And this is a great way to start building your list from the beginning. If you have 2, 3, 4, 500 businesses that you are in touch with, you should import all of those in. That way you have a good base to start out with. Most business owners, while they may want updates for businesses, they're also going to be interested in featured articles and community news, so it's okay to add them in this case. So this is a very basic explanation of how to use groups. In order to create a new group, you would come up here and say create groups, and it gives you all these different options. The one I just showed you is public facing, so people can opt in and opt out on their subscription page or their management page, profile page, or whatever they call it in MailChimp, I forget. But you can also use private groups. So I'm going to set up one real quick. Don't show these groups in the sign-up form. I'm just going to call this internal targeting group. This is just for you and I and to look at, and you might want to do one for calendar contributors, and then maybe you have another one for nonprofits. So these are groups that you can use to send out emails, say, if you need to generate some new events for your calendar, you could come in and have a templated email where you can select all the calendar contributors and all the nonprofits and say, hey, just a reminder, the new issue is coming up. If you want to submit your event for possible inclusion in print, make sure to go to our website and add your events there, because that's where we pull everything from. So this is one example of how you can use these different the group feature to target different segments of your list. I will say, just jumping ahead, once you have this, the subscription process is easy. Like if you want to add one person, one off, it's email name, and then you can just check off the boxes. Or if you had like a whole spreadsheet of things, you can use their import feature where you can basically copy and paste to Excel, and it will automatically, again, same here. You can just do this, maybe add them to nonprofits or whatever makes sense in that given situation. The last thing I do want to share is that there's certain things that don't make sense for a group. So let's say you have a bunch of different sales reps on your team, and you want to be able to target your individual, client list outside of, emailing everyone. There's not a lot of reason to do that, but there are some. So in MailChimp, there's this thing called list fields, and those are the things like the email address, first name, last name, things that are the same or consistent for everybody in the group, regardless of what group they're in. You can get to that by going to settings and then list fields and merge tags. Maybe I want to do something like a sales rep field, so I'll click the drop down and it's going to give me the field name, and I'll say sales rep, and I'll say Brian, Ryan, whatever. Now if I do this, just to illustrate what it looks like, I'm going to come back here. So now there's this field for sales reps. So you could import Brian or Ryan into the list, and it gives you another dimension in order to be able to segment your list as you need to reach the specific person with the right message. And the more segmenting you can do, and I'll kind of wrap up with this, the more targeted you can be to each individual person, the better. Obviously you're going to have your master list, and I guess I should have started with that. It's better to have one major list than multiple lists. Use the groups and this list tags in order to segment, instead of having say one group for featured article, or one list for featured articles and one list for deals. It makes it much easier, especially when you're using MailChimp to segment with groups. But hopefully that gives you an idea of what you can accomplish with MailChimp. There's a lot of different things you can do then, and I think Brian is going to talk about one of those real quick, or at least reiterate what he said earlier.
Yeah, I actually learned something on this call, something I didn't expect Ryan to cover, but I'm glad that he did. The nice thing about something like a sales rep is you can make it to where, let's say you send one message out to all your advertisers and prospects, it could come from the rep that they know. So you could, have the signature line, if you will, from the person identified there. And the internal targeting groups is really great because if you think back to the things that are on that Excel spreadsheet, we have people who've posted articles, comments, events, reviews, listings, and voted. Well, I may come through Facebook or through your website and say, you know what, I want to opt into your list, and I want to get featured events and information, and I'm a business owner. I wouldn't say I'm a calendar contributor. It's not the way that I would classify myself, although I may very well post a lot of calendar items. So anytime you can take that list from your website, and when you do the import, he went quickly through this, but when you do the import, you can actually set it to update existing lists. So you might say, if this person, this email address already exists in MailChimp, add them to now the calendar contributors. This might sound like a lot of work. It's super simple. And so you can keep your list up to date. You can set different messages. Maybe you're going to do a special lunch for people who post events on your calendar, a little thank you, or you want to recognize them or something. You can send them a message directly. So there's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to work in MailChimp, but the reason we always use it is because it's so dang easy and we're experts at it. So if you're working in another system, we may give you pointers, but we are not going to be able to help you set it up the way that we do in MailChimp. And the other thing is we can help you set this up, and sort of once you've got it, it's there. And you may tweak it over time, but this is not the sort of thing that you have to then do every single time you want to send a message. So it's a very good investment of 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatnot to get it set up and get it running. So we're happy to help you guys do that. If you don't already have a MailChimp account, go there now, sign up. It's free for up to 2,000 subscribers, and after that, pricing is comparable or even slightly lower than folks like Vertical Response and Constant Contact. So please, please, please get that set up. Okay, again, I'm not really going to pause too much for questions, but type them in and we'll address them. A couple tech updates I want to introduce to you. We've been rolling out some updates every couple of days, but these are sort of the highlights. And we're going to be doing another rollout today, so a couple of these are actually going to be covered then. Right now, when you post an article, it shows your first name, and your first name is what's shown sort of throughout the site. When you post content, there is a field called nickname or display name. You're going to be able to fill that in and have it use that. So whether you want it to be your first name, great, add your first name. If you want it to be your first last, you want it to be Mr. Ostrovsky, you want it to be, editor, although don't do that. Don't do your title. Do your name of some sort, or at least something funny related to your name. To have some personality to it, but you can set the tone now with your byline. So if you want it to be first and last, great, you can do that. Real simple change that you can do in the admin section under your users. It's only applying currently to users, that is people who post articles. You'll notice on your site, or at least most of your sites, we've added a trending content section. I'll quickly pull this up here. Trending content is a tool that comes from Add This. Last week we added Add This, and this week we added trending content. We're really doing some experimentation around how to get more people to sort of recirculate within the site. So on Midland Park Press, a web-only site in New Jersey, we've dropped into the sidebar this trending content, and it populates from Add This. So this is stuff that's viewed a lot or shared a lot. Add This does some really great things with user analytics. Because this sharing stuff appears on every page, they're able to track stuff and use that for us. There are some other things you'll notice, the suggestion on the right here, as well as stuff down in the footer the very bottom. These, again, we're testing these out. In future episodes of our office hours, we're going to talk about the sort of user data we're getting from Add This and what that will allow us to do to help make you smarter in terms of your content in print and online. But for now, those are running. And the more traffic your site gets and the more time we have to have these running, the more intelligent these various pieces will become. So that's a pretty cool new feature that is on most of your sites. If it's not on your site, let us know. We added it just one by one, and there's a few sites we didn't do, so we're happy to add that if you'd like it and it's not there. We just pushed out a pretty big update to the directory, and we've been making this real move, sort of kicking off 2014 with a bang, to make the directory ever more a local resource. So with this upgrade, we gave more and more benefits to the free listing. And we're adding more and more benefits for upgrades. And so the idea here is the more we can get people engaged, the more content they can post, the more they can do as a free listing, the better it is for you for SEO and for engagement with the readers and the businesses. And if we can move beyond having a listing be merely a presence, but that paid listings become about promotion and the tools that come with it, there's real differentiation that happens at that point. So we're really excited. We're going to continue to see more happening. I've quickly hit some coming soon items. We're building out a feature so that people who have paid listings, when they get a positive review, that is a 4- or 5-star review, it can auto-share to their Facebook page, which means 1, they get more promotion out of it. 2, it happens automatically, so it saves them time and energy. And 3, it links back to your website from Facebook, which is good for you. We're going to be adding the notification to admins whenever a new listing is created. Another chance for you to prospect based on business owners that are creating listings. You're going to see some updates coming around the featured businesses at the top of the directory. There's some work happening there. And we're also adding a new suite of tools related to reviews and being able to reply. You get a positive review, great, you should reply. You should thank that person. You should ask them to come in and maybe give them a coupon. Conversely, if you get a negative review, follow up, find out what happened, understand that situation. And so we're really trying to build out some great tools for local businesses. And of course, when you couple that with the reviews widget that's already in place, all of a sudden this becomes a real nice suite with more upgrades happening sort of as we move into the quarter. We've also updated how venues are looked up. If you posted any events recently, you've probably noticed this. We've updated it there and on the directory registration. Some old browsers were having issues, and so now if I do, let's see if there's a cafe. All right, so you'll notice it looks a little different. Some of the language has been refined. We're continuing to work through that. Internet Explorer 8 and 9 are really proving inconsistent and troublesome, so we're working on that. But if you continue to hear anybody having trouble posting an event, please let us know. Ask them for the browser that they're on, and that will help us as we continue to refine that. But this should help a lot of people post events more easily. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to talk a little bit about some immediately accessible goals, things that we'd love to see more of you doing and meeting. And you know, there's so much you can do. There's so many ways to make money online. There's so much you can do to improve your brand digitally, but the sheer volume of potential activities also is a little overwhelming. So I wanted to give you 4 things that you can do to grow your business, and they're all very achievable. So the first is sell 1 weekly social promotion. Think about your advertisers who are a restaurant, a retailer, a day spa, and let's go sell them a weekly. It's going to run on Facebook. It's going to be terrific promotion for their business. Again, Locable administers it on your behalf, so we know it's going to work, assuming they've got a product or service people want. Sell it weekly. Get that going. In addition to making a little bit of money, it gets that, you know, the wheels moving. And oh, by the way, it's going to help you grow your opt-in list and your Facebook page at the same time. Then I want you to think about selling 2 ongoing digital campaigns. Just 2. How many advertisers do you have? 20, 40, 60? Okay, if you only have 20 advertisers, you still only need to sell to 10% of them to meet this goal. You sell 2 of them, and it can be $50, $75, $100. It can combine banner ad. It can combine social promote. Sorry, not social. It can combine advertorial or featured event. It doesn't matter. We can help you customize this, but just sell 2. And I think what you'll find as you go out and you do this, that it's not that hard. You start talking about it, you start doing it, and you're going to see some momentum happening there. If you've already sold, make this your goal for the week. If you've already sold these things in the past, make this your goal for this week. Now, switching to the content side, I'd like to see each of you post a guide or a cross-referenced article. We've talked previously about how you can create things like camp guides or restaurant guides. If you haven't already, you can do an in this issue post. I'll quickly show you one that was promoted or posted by one of our publishers, an in this issue post, parenting publication in North Dakota. It can be simple. It can be about your issue. It can be about some great upcoming events this weekend. I don't care what it is, but just get in here, post an article, and use this insert feature. The one suggestion I would make to them is that they didn't have an introduction. I'd love to see you write a paragraph or 2 introing and setting up, summarizing what this particular issue is about, and then drop these in. But use the insert features to do this. Really valuable, great for sharing. Again, can be reused for emails. Seeing a theme here of reusing content. And finally, if you don't have an email list at MailChimp, set it up. Get our help. We're happy to do it. Let's get it set up. Let's get your lists imported from your members, from your advertisers, and let's make sure that it's installed on your site and Facebook page, and make a few references to people to, hey, why don't you go register and get a little plan together on that. These things will help you really advance your business sort of one step at a time, and pick 1, pick 2. If you've got a bigger team, knock off all of them this week. It really isn't that much time required. So I've been thinking a lot about this notion of how profitable can small inroads on digital be for you. And I realize all of you have all of you have different sized businesses. Well, I put together a little calculation here. I said, what would it mean to you if for the next 2 years you went out and you sold just 1 ongoing campaign per month, 1 weekly social promotion per month, and 2 email sponsorships? Obviously, you have to have an email list to do this, and presumably some level of subscriber base, but you should be able to get there quickly. So if you did just this minimum, and by the way, there can be overlap. One of your ongoing campaigns could be an email sponsor. One of your social promotions could be the others. If you just sold 1 of each of those a month for 24 months, it means, other than the fact that I can't spell month appropriately on my labels here, it means that by the end of 2 years, you have 24 ongoing campaigns at $75 a month. That's pretty good, but probably a fraction of your actual print advertiser base. It means that you've only run 24 campaigns in total over the course of 2 years. And a couple of them might be repeats, right? A repeat restaurant every 6 months wants to run one. And you're running 2 email sponsorships a month. The notice is growing from, so today it might be you charge $350 for social promotion, and in 2 years, because of your larger reach and audience, you charge $500. Same for email sponsorships. You have a small list, it's $50, it grows, engagement grows, it's $250 in 2 years. Well, at month 24, your revenue will be $2,800 if you accomplish this particular feat. Assuming no churn. There may be some, but it's almost negligible. Given the cost of us running a social promotion for you, and the cost of Facebook ads taken at 12% of the sales price at $500, your profit for month 24 would be $2,600 of the $2,800. Hugely profitable. Digital, when done right, is far more profitable than print. You don't have to print. You're covering your overhead already. It's pretty awesome. Your annual profit at this nominal growth would become $31,000 from digital. And I don't care if you have 1 employee or 15, adding $30,000 straight to your bottom line is pretty dang good. And what else would you have to do to add this sort of profit to your business? Well, I took a stab at this. Let's say your average ad is $800, and your average margin per ad is 50%. This can vary. Obviously, you have cost of printing, you've got overhead, it's a little amorphous, but let's say it's 50%. That means you make $400 an ad. Well, to get there, that means if you are a monthly publication, you need to add 6.5 new $800 ads to every issue. And if you're monthly, it's bi-monthly, it's going to be 13 to every issue. I want you to think about for a moment what the sales cycle looks like to selling a print ad. And I'm not saying don't sell print. I'm just saying going to an existing advertiser, offering them something that costs them 75 bucks and delivers real value on top of what they're already doing is a lot easier than going out and selling a brand new $800 print ad. Now, of course, the beauty of this is you go out and you sell somebody something new, you're not going to sell them an $800 ad. You're going to sell them an $875 integrated campaign, and then you get the best of both worlds. But anyways, I hope this gives you a sense of what digital profitability can look like to your business. A lot of you are going to be selling your digital campaigns for a lot more than $75, at least at the more premium levels. So, so this is just meant to be a very value-based pricing example. With that, we're done for the day. Almost 30 minutes on the dot. I'm pretty excited about that. Those of you who know me know that finishing on time is not my strong suit. So with that, if there's any questions, if there's any requests, if anyone wants to schedule assistance getting set up on MailChimp, happy to do that. Or if you need some help setting up one of those guides or meeting one of those other 4 goals that I mentioned, we will want to be here to help, because all of you should be able to get this done and get on the path to that profit level. All right, I'll give you all just another minute to post any questions that you have before we sign off. All right, we're going to get going. Obviously, if you've got a question, it's something that other people would want to hear the answers to as well. So please come with questions, come with looking for insights. If you happen to notice anything that you think is impactful to your business, we'd love for you to share it with us on future calls as well, because other publishers would love to have you share that stuff. So with that, we'll let you all go. Have a great afternoon, and see you again next week.